Here we are. Honestly, I'm not really sure where this is going to lead me. I'm really just kind of winging it a little bit with this. It's weird because I'm recording this by myself right now and I'm literally nervous. And I'm a full-time content creator, so I make videos all the time, but not usually like this, right? I'm usually teaching something. I'm usually, instructing about money and business and all of the things, right? I teach, and for some reason, like this video has been so hard. I've been sitting here for the last like 3 hours, literally 3 hours, um, trying to find the words because I'm so used to everything being so structured, but I feel like this is very much needed for me. And hopefully, if someone's listening to this, hopefully this is helpful for you too. I decided to start Beyond Her Hustle. I've been wanting to create something similar to this for a little while now. I just haven't really been able to put the thoughts together. I haven't been able to really figure out exactly what route I wanted to go with it. I just knew that I wanted to create a community and I wanted to be able to share my story and some of the things that I have gone through when it comes to, building a seven-figure brand and being a six-figure earner, a high income earner, and being a woman at the same time and having to be all the things. I know that there's so many women out there who can relate to so much that comes with this. And I feel like as someone who is in front of people all the time with my content, I have hundreds and thousands of followers in my community. And at times it feels like I'm so alone in a lot of the things that I'm going through. But then I realize that there's a lot of people going through those same things. It's just that we literally never talk about it, right? Because when you're seen as someone who has a business and the business is doing well and people are looking up to you, right? You're supposed to be perfect. And so being able to let go of the pressure to be perfect, that's been so challenging for me. So challenging, but I feel like it's necessary not only just for myself and my own healing journey. I think it's necessary for people to know and understand too. Because if someone's listening to this who is trying to achieve amazing things or trying to be a six-figure earner, if you only see the good, if you only hear the good, when you do go through those obstacles, you're going to be wondering, like, what is wrong with me? Why does my journey not look like theirs, right? Because they're not showing the hard parts. Or if you're someone who is already a high income earner and you are going through a lot of these challenges and obstacles and feeling ways that you don't really think that you should be feeling, but you're not hearing anybody else talk about it, you feel like, again, something is wrong with you, right? It's like, why am I going through this? Why am I feeling these things when I should be happy, right? I should, I'm achieving everything that I've prayed for. I should be happy. And I think a lot of women go through these things. And so with Beyond Her Hustle, I didn't want this to be like my typical content where I'm teaching a lesson or, I'm instructing or giving tips or anything like that. Beyond Her Hustle is really me going through and talking through the things that I have experienced and going through and my own healing process and journey. Um, I made a post not that long ago. It was a repost of a post that someone else made, and I think it was like a tweet or something. And they said this: the more that I heal, the less ambitious I become. And it's crazy because I was so afraid to post that because for so many years I've just been known as the entrepreneur, the hustler, right? Like I'm always talking about you got to go, go, go. You got to post, all day. You got to work hard, work 7 days a week. I feel like that's always been the vibe that my brand gives off. And so I was really scared to post that. I can't even lie. I'm like, these people are going to think that I'm a fraud. They're going to think that I'm giving up on my business, which I'm not. But when I posted it, there were so many women that were commenting and sharing and just expressing how they feel the exact same way. And so at that moment, when I saw everyone's feedback, I realized, okay, this is a conversation that we need to have. And like I said, I've been wanting to create something like this for a little while now. I just haven't been able to really solidify the vision for it. And last night I was praying and I was just really asking God for clarity. I was asking him to bring clarity to like what his will is for me, because honestly lately I've been feeling lost. I've been feeling super lost as far as like what is my true purpose? It's one thing to come out here and have a business and make money, and that's great, but it's like where does my purpose lie? Right? Like what am I actually here to do? And I was praying and I was crying and I was like, Lord, I just need clarity. And it's crazy because literally that same night, I just had these like visions in my head and these words popping up like beyond her hustle. And I looked it up. Nobody had the domain, nobody had the Instagram. It's not trademarked. There's no podcast or anything with that name. And I was like, maybe this is it. Maybe Beyond Her Hustle is this next chapter of my story, because I've spent so long focusing on the money, focusing on the hustle, being concerned about making thousands of dollars every day and not really caring about anything else beyond that. Falling in love with material items and wanting to portray a certain lifestyle in order to keep up with appearances because of that outside pressure that comes in. This next chapter, I'm ready to really move into who I'm supposed to be outside of all of those things, because it's challenging. It is challenging to succeed in front of the world, essentially, because then there's this constant pressure to keep up, a constant pressure to keep up. And so I feel like I just fell into this cycle to where that's all that I cared about. And it came to a point where it's like, I don't even know who I am anymore outside of Sierra Nicole, the influencer, the entrepreneur. I don't know who I am outside of that. And I realized that I don't know, like I didn't have hobbies. I pretty much didn't. I've been in Texas for what, like 6 years now, and maybe I can probably count the amount of friends I have on one hand, literally. And one of them is a childhood friend who's here, or she's moving back here, but I can literally count that on one hand. And so I realized that there's so much life that I'm missing. And it's crazy because there were days where I've dreamt of having a seven-figure business. I've dreamt of and prayed for, you know what I mean, a certain levels of success. And although I'm nowhere near my ultimate vision, right, for my life, but I've realized that in the pursuit of those things, I've missed out on so much. Like I'm 26 years old, and at times I literally feel like I'm like 50. I always feel like I'm not achieving fast enough. I'm not achieving enough. I'm not ever taking out time to like understand who I am and to work through my own traumas and my own healing. And so, like I said, this new season for me is really just coming to terms with that and learning how to heal and learning how to find myself and practicing true self care, true healing, and living a more fulfilled life that follows my true purpose. Because it's one thing to make a ton of money. And it's crazy because I just did a podcast interview the other day for my podcast, The Boss Seat, with Derek Harper, which you guys, I'll link that video once it drops here in the description. But in that, we talked about how you can make a ton of money, right? Say you make $1 million. When you make that $1 million, you'll realize that the money was not the issue. You'll realize that there's so many other things that are more important than that $1 million that you were striving for. You'll realize that your trauma is still there. Your insecurities are still there. Your flaws are still there. None of those things got erased because you started making money. If anything, it got amplified. And I noticed that that's what happened with me when I did start making a stupid amount of money. I was expecting that to solve my problems. I was expecting that to heal me, to get rid of my insecurities. And it didn't do anything but amplify those problems. And at the time, I was just masking those things with material items, with the new cars, with the penthouse, with the clothes, the designer clothes and the shoes, and, going out and spending $2,000 on dinner. I was doing these things because I wanted to keep up with an appearance and an image, not only for other people, but also for myself. Because I felt like I was trying to convince myself that I am successful, that I didn't have these fears, these traumas, didn't have these things I needed to heal from, these insecurities. I was trying to mask it all with the money. But then there comes a point when you wake up, and I literally woke up in our penthouse, $10,000 a month penthouse. And I woke up every single day and I felt like I was in a jail cell because I was not happy with myself. I had everything that I prayed for. But because I didn't have peace, I didn't have healing within myself, I didn't really like myself, it didn't mean anything. And so with Beyond Her Hustle, I just really want this to be a safe space for women to be able to talk about and express the challenges that come with this hustle culture that we've been sucked into. And like I said, this is kind of a challenging video for me to make because, my typical content is about, finances and money and teaching things, things that have nothing to do with like anything personal about me and the things that I go through. But I realize so many women are going through the same things that I go through. And I think it's time that we have a platform, that we have a community, something where we can go to and talk to people and just express ourselves and work through these traumas, because it's very challenging to celebrate, and it's challenging to really enjoy the fruits of our labor when there's still so much inside that needs to be healed, right? We're not doing self-care. We're not caring about ourselves. All we care about is the money. And you realize that there's so much more to life than that. And so I'm nervous but excited to be putting this out. I'm not sure what the feedback's going to be. I'm honestly nervous about that, but it is what it is. I don't really have a super structured plan for this like I usually do with everything else. I'm just kind of winging it, but I feel like it's necessary. This is just like the first episode that I'm filming. I'll probably maybe eventually have some guests and whatnot on here to have conversations, but for right now, I think I'm just really going to be sharing my journey and my process and my thoughts, in hopes that someone can watch this and relate to it and maybe help you within your own journey with trying to just live a more fulfilled life outside of this hustle culture, to be able to have peace and have healing and be happy, but still be able to build wealth at the same time, because I really feel like that's possible. I just feel like no one's really talking about it, if they're even doing it, but I think it's important. And so I appreciate you all for just coming along this journey with me, for those of you that do. Like says, it's not easy for me at all, but this is the first episode of Beyond Her Hustle, where I am bringing you through my journey of ditching the hustle culture, finding healing, following my purpose, and building wealth in the process. So I appreciate all of you. The audio will be on all audio platforms, and the video, you'll be able to find it on YouTube, and clips, of course, you can find on TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff under Beyond Her Hustle. I appreciate you guys for tuning in with me on this first episode. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one.